Mr. Feuer.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, picture for a moment that this bill was not about mobile homes and instead about the other housing stock in your neighborhoods. Imagine going back to your districts and explaining to homeowners up and down streets in your districts why you voted for a bill that will devalue the market, the value of their homes, a bill that would constrict the mortgage market, and a bill that would impede the cities in which they live from deciding for themselves what is the most sensible rule to promote affordable housing in those neighborhoods. Devalue your houses, constrict the mortgage market, and eviscerate local control. I can't imagine that anyone here could go back to their districts in this particular economic climate, as Mr. Nava so well portrayed it, and be able to sell that vote. In fact, to the contrary, you go back to your district and you would be trying to explain your vote to constituents who would not be able to believe it. Well, here we are with this bill. Well, why should mobile homes be treated differently for the purpose that I just described than homes that the traditional homes? Well, the argument raised, the most important arguments, I guess, are two. One argument I've heard repeatedly is you can't rely on local control here because of the tyranny of the majority, that there are too many renters versus owners, such that the owners would ever get a fair shake. Well, when have the proponents of local control ever succumbed to that argument? We're talking about letting democracy work. And indeed, it does work on this state. There are 100 jurisdictions that have rent control rules that pertain to mobile homes and hundreds that don't. Clearly, local jurisdictions are able to distinguish when a situation is good for them and when it's not. And you don't need to rely on any political advocate on this floor to be able to support the argument that this bill will have a very detrimental impact on the mortgage market. All you need to do is listen to the lenders who oppose the bill, because they say the bill is going to create one of two outcomes. Either they won't be lending at all, or they'll be lending at much higher interest rates. That's what they say will happen here. And listen to the owners of these homes themselves. As Ms. Brownlee stated, this bill devalues their homes at precisely the moment when they might want to draw on the equity of those homes to subsist day to day. All of us who have spoken have stated our great respect for the author of the bill. But the policy embedded in this bill is going to have a tremendously devastating impact on a universe of homeowners in our state whom we should be duty-bound to protect at all times, but particularly at this time. I urge a no vote.
Mr. Feuer.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. So this is legislation here on reconsideration because it didn't get the votes the last time, and that was the right result. Again, we were kidding with the author of the bill that he received a lot of respect last time, and I want to perpetuate that. Of course, all of us have a great deal of respect for the author of the bill, but the bill itself is bad policy. To vote for this bill is to vote for the mobile home devaluation, mortgage market devastation, Local Control Evisceration Act of 2009. This is not a good bill because it does, in fact, achieve all those results. As I said in remarks the last time this bill came up, if any of us were contending with a bill that had the same impact on existing single-family homes in our districts, we would be completely unable to explain that vote to our constituents. All that differentiates this bill, which pertains to mobile homes, from that which would pertain to single-family homes is the nature of the structure. But it will devalue homes. You see a plethora of organizations opposed to this bill representing people who own these homes, for whom this is their life savings on which they might intend to draw, this bill will devalue their homes. We said last time that if you look at the analyses of the bill and listen to those in the mortgage industry who lend for purchases of these homes, they may not be able to lend at all anymore because this bill undermines the security in those homes. What is that going to do to the market for these homes? And we heard also the last time we debated this bill that from a local control standpoint, what this bill does is says to the 100 jurisdictions in the state of California that have chosen for themselves how to regulate their housing markets, including their mobile home markets, what those local views are don't matter here, because we intend to preempt the field and completely undermine those local determinations made in the best interest of people whose views we cannot pretend to know as we stand here today. But this bill would effectively preempt that local decision-making. About that, there's no disagreement. Now, as to the argument that that local control has a detrimental impact statewide, let us note that while 100 jurisdictions have such restrictions on the mobile home market, there are many others, hundreds of others, that don't. Why would we want to disrupt that local choice where some jurisdictions say we need to have such rules, other jurisdictions say no? We don't want to devalue mobile homes for the people on fixed incomes, the seniors who rely on the value of those homes. We don't want to disrupt in this economy of all economies, we don't want to disrupt the mortgage market for these homes. And there are people on both sides of this aisle who frequently profess respect for views expressed at the local level, made by accountable local officials who have to return to their constituencies on these issues. We should continue that respect today. We should also continue the result which this bill achieved in its first go-round by rejecting it again today. I urge a no vote.